Yeah, the lotto result is being decided as we speak, and I feel quite calm at the moment. Um, but never mind you, over the course of the last week or so, I have had bouts where I've gone on escapades, spending, my winnings and things along those lines, and it's been really intense. And I think for me, I've come to learn that gambling is a mind and mood altering um, proposition for me. You know, um, and yeah, whenever I punt, it triggers sensationalistic thinking in my head, where I become manic. I engage in expansive activity, thinking, how marvelous it would be. There are other details that I won't go into in regards to my early childhood experiences, but, it's like, you know, the key to freedom, so to speak, a substantial amount of money. And um, you know, there is one experience that lends me to invest in that kind of activity, and that is as a child, we were on school holidays with my father, and we went on to a picnic races. Um, and there were bookies there, and it was decided that each of us children would get a turn to pick a horse on a race, in a race, and my father would put some money on it. Um, it ended up that I had to go last. And looking back at it now, I think my father thought that I needed a win, so to speak, to bolster my flagging self-esteem. There were only three horses in the race, and when it came time to punting on this particular race, um, my I chose my horse, and my father tried to explain to me that it wouldn't win, that there were a boyfriend and a girlfriend on the other two horses. The boyfriend would hold up my horse, and the girl jockey horse would win. But I was adamant. I had waited around all day. Well, that might be a slight exaggeration. And I was adamant. I wanted my horse. And he just sighed, rolled his eyes, and said, "Rightio." And he laid the bet. I went down the home straight, a couple of 100 meters to watch the horses run past. And as they let them out of the barrier, the girl's horse started to pig root and carry on. The boyfriend became preoccupied with her, and by the time he looked up to get back into the race, my horse was already 100 yards in front. and it ended up winning by a country mile, so to speak. And as a result of that, I won $30. But another thing of note is that I made it into the highlight reels. Those were the days where computers weren't readily available, and the social activities of most human beings was to have a few beers and speak about what took place in your day. And my father spoke of this particular bet as though it was some kind of miracle, and I remember getting a sense of self-worth from that as well. So the point I'm trying to make is, there's a part of me that still holds out that if I just play my cards right and stick to my guns, one day I will be the recipient of a major boon and or windfall, and the type of affect that derives from that is one of that same kind of sensationalistic miracle, so to speak. My self-esteem and self-worth, is attached to that particular notion. And that's where I get carried away with myself. It does trigger mania within me mentally. It may not be overt in the sense that I become productive in my daily activities, but it does definitely trigger obsessional thinking. So I don't know if I've won or not. I've played that scenario out in my head. I've become humble and becoming, or I even went to the extent that I'd play a game, and trash, the people who made the phone call to inform me that I'd won, that they were some kind of international hacking experiment, hacking team that just wanted my bank account details. So like I mentioned at the start of this post, I feel pretty calm and relaxed. And the truth be known, if I was to win that kind of money, I wouldn't really know what to do with it. I think it would be just stressful until, I'd, it'd be stressful for 6 or 12 months. It'd be the same as the kind of affect I experienced, when I was delusional and in psychosis, where I was running around reading into number plates and street signs and, even names of buildings and, trying to get the universe to align for this particular, win on the lottery. So a lot of that kind of thinking has dissipated, but, I guess for me, whether I quit entirely on gambling or, just have to, or that I just have to be aware of the fact that it is, um, it can lead into delusion, and therefore it could take me back into psychosis. So I take my meds religiously today, and yeah, the truth of it is, I lead a pretty good life with the one that I have at the moment. The only thing a great deal of money would enable me to do is that it would give me a greater sense of fucking power. And that's what I get obsessed about. Money, power, attention, validation, and approval. That's why I become attractive too. Because with that power comes self-esteem. And I can project an air of confidence, or a greater sense of confidence than what I'm able to do at present. So yeah, it's been a long haul to get to this point, and yeah, like I mentioned, whether I think I have learned enough now to know that if I gamble, it does open up, a pathway back into psychosis. So that's me for today. Thank you for your time and attention. Please post in the comments if you can relate or identify, or if you've had similar experiences. Thank you.